lovely bit of traffic for the Monday morning. And only -4. Not too bad. Good morning, guys, and welcome back to another episode of Bareham Engines. Right, guys, it's -4 out here, as you can see by the floor and all the white. And Isaac, fair play to him, he's soda blasting. That is dedication for you, isn't it? Absolutely. Mate, I can't believe the dedication. He's out here in -4.
It's got to be done, isn't it?
I don't know whether that's frost or soda. Yeah, fair play to you, mate. So I'm back, guys. Like I said to you yesterday, say it a little bit quietly because I don't want my wife to hear, but I'm actually glad to be back. As lovely as it was being away, spending time with the family and kids, it's actually the first week off I've had all year, I think. But to be honest with you, it weren't that relaxing. We've got a 2 and a 3-year-old, bit of a nightmare, but no, wouldn't take it back. Absolutely loved it, but it is nice to be back, even if it's only for a couple of weeks and then we shut again for Christmas. But now, before the boys come back in the workshop, yeah, very, very happy with the way they kept it. Apparently, they did let on to me this morning that before Friday afternoon, it weren't quite as tidy as they left it. I think they've had a good old spruce up because they knew I'd probably hit the roof. But I have come in, I've given it a good sweep through anyway. It's back to how we want it. So first job this morning, I'm going to head into the office. I'm going to crack on with that mountain of paperwork that I've got. And once that's done, I've got a little job to do on the mill, so I'll just show you that. So second job is to put a groove into the centre of this drive here for the Honda Civic that we've got to balance, the crank assembly on the end of the crankshaft. So you can see here, guys, John has turned up a drive with the correct thread there for the Honda Civic. We've got to balance that Honda Civic crank assembly. So all I'm doing is putting an 8mm groove through the centre, 8mm deep, and that is ideal then for the drive on our machine. So I've just got to do another 1mm, I do believe, and then this is all done. So I'll just pop over in a minute and show you the drive on the end of our crank balancing machine, and you'll know exactly what I mean then. Here's the drive here. See, it's on a couple of sort of joints, and then there's a bit of plasticine on there just to sort of dampen the sort of drive out of it. But there's 2 pins in here, and then that one goes through the centre of the drive. If we get another drive here, so here's one for something else. That just locates in there and then goes on either side of the drive with that in the end of the crankshaft, and that drives it. So what we do is when it's in the end of the crank, we try and, using these levers here, we can raise the crankshaft up either end, and we want to try and get it as straight as possible, really. It doesn't matter if it's like this, but that just sort of, the straighter the better, really. Some of the vibration out of it, and yeah, and that's what we're doing, guys. Right, guys, I think it was a week or 2 back, I did a video on, it was a reaction video to the Pakistani Trucks channel. They were building an engine out of one of their trucks that was completely knackered, reconning it, and I sort of went through, reviewed what I thought about the channel. So yeah, got some good response on that, got quite a few views, so I just thought I'd do another one, but on the other end of the spectrum. So the one we did before, the Pakistani Trucks, the reason they get so many views and the channel is so popular and why it fascinates me is because, you know, they're working in terrible conditions, really, compared to what a lot of us are used to. I know our workshop's not the greatest. They work on the floor, outside, in the mud. It just fascinates everyone. But you have to admire the guys. They produce a product that works. Fair play to them, you know, in the conditions that they've got. So today what I'm going to do is I'm going to review another channel and one of their videos. And this channel is called Gunpowder and Gasoline. It's an American channel, or typical American engine building channel. The reason I decided to review this is because really, before I started our channel, watching channels like this were, you know, they, in their own way, they fascinate me. They're right on the other end of the spectrum to the Pakistani trucks type of channel. And they're the reason really that as to why I decided to do the channel as I do it, you know, and what I do it about really. So these guys, everything they do is immaculate. The workshops are immaculate. Everything is, the reason I started watching them originally is because that is sort of your ideal workshop, your ideal jobs that you're working on. Everything's seems to be new, mint condition. There don't seem to be any dirt, grime, anything. It's all like almost unrealistic, if you know what I mean, compared to what us Brits are used to. So that's what fascinates me about this type of channel. They never seem to show you bad things that happen, or the customers they deal with and the problems they have. It's all, you know, look at this, everything's shiny, it's all produces great power and it's all fantastic. So that's why it gave me the idea of producing our channel, sort of, you know, let's show them what it is actually really like, especially here in Britain, to run a machine shop like this, you know. So the video that we're about to review here is called Building a High Performance Small Block V8 from scratch using only catalogue parts. So what they're going to do is they're going to build a small block engine from a Summit parts catalogue. This was made a year ago, this one. First of all, what they've done is when I say they've ordered all the bits from the Summit catalogue, they have ordered everything, like the block, the crank, the pistons, rods, carburetor, distributor, manifolds, heads, the whole shooting match. Basically what you would get in a fully dressed crate motor from over there. And they're going to sort of see if they can get something that produces good power, you know, like a tuned motor, and see what it costs at the end of it. So first of all, they've took delivery of the block, obviously brand new block. But before that, at the start of the video, the guys are all very, it sort of makes me laugh a little bit because they never seem to be, nothing against you guys in America or anything like that, but they never seem to be themselves. They all talk a little bit like this, you know, a little bit sort of acty, where just, you know, I'm just myself really. But also the workshops are not only immaculate, but they just fascinate me. They're massive over there. You know, I watch quite a lot of, most of the stuff that I watch is from America, like Daily Driven Exotics, Sheepy Race, all that. But you look at the workshops over there. I mean, Sheepy Race and these guys here, their workshop is bigger than our estate. I mean, we've got several units on this. I've never seen units that big in Britain. So I don't know how much they cost, but it must be hell of a cheap compared to over here. Places like Sheepy Race, Gunpowder and Gasoline, JMR Builds, they're all the same. The units are massive. They're like our dream workshop. So that's the first thing you notice. As I say, you never see any dirt, grime. You never see any dirty rooms. It's almost like they, I suppose for the cost, which we'll get to in a bit, it ain't worth even cleaning stuff up. So moving on to the engine, the first thing that they do is unbox the cylinder block and the crank. You know, they're using everything brand new. So the bearings, bear in mind these are V8s, so there's double, nearly all the engines we do are 4s. There's double the amount of stuff. Over here, if you went by British costs, it would just be astronomical. But yeah, they've got block, cranks, worked cylinder heads. So these are big port cylinder heads with valves, with springs, you know, retainers, collets, all the rest of it. And they were saying the heads for a pair about $560. It's just mental. You know, over here we're looking $2,000 for a second-hand Cosworth head. On this video here, what they do is they sort of show you getting the parts in, unboxing the stuff, and then obviously the build on the stand, bolting it all together, fixing on the ancillary bits like the carburetor and all the rest of it. Then they show you getting it in their wonderful engine dyno room, which is about as big as our workshop. setting it all up, changing jets, fiddling about and seeing what power they get at the end of it. And then they show you, there's obviously quite a lot of adverts in this. There's an advert on a particular oil filter that takes up about 5 minutes of it. They show you the power figures and they show you what it costs at the end. So most of the videos, as I say, building up this engine, all the bits have come from Summit Racing catalogue, been delivered, and they're just bolting it all up. So this, we're talking inlet manifold, exhaust manifold, carburetors, distributor, the whole shooting match. Finally, they get it on the dyno. By the time they've fiddled about with putting new jets in and all the rest of it and getting it, they end up with an engine that produces 443 brake horsepower, which is pretty good really. And then they go through the costs. Now, it always baffles us, these tales that people say of how much you can get a crate motor for over there. So we got some figures here. Once he got the dyno figures for 443 horsepower, he then says that a crate motor would cost $5,800, which is about £4,700. And that would be for a crate ZZ383 engine. So this engine here that they've built from Summit Racing parts, unbelievable. $4,600, that's £3,700, and you get a fully dressed small block V8 motor producing over 440 horsepower. It's unreal. You wouldn't get a block and a head for a Cosworth for that second hand, and then you'd have to go through it all. So no wonder these guys are able to have workshops like this. I mean, the rent on that workshop's probably about the same equivalent to what we're paying on this, but yeah, it is massive. So no wonder these guys can produce videos like this. I mean, we're going on about doing this deal with this unit, you know, doing something. We would obviously like a clean room, not just for the channel to sort of look good, but we would like obviously a much cleaner area to build these, a cleaner environment to build these engines. But as far as YouTube videos goes, I mean, this video alone here has got 900,000 views. We can't really compete with that. So yeah, as I say, right on the other end of the spectrum from the Pakistani trucks videos, this one here and guys like this, they fascinate me because that really is a dream for me to be like that. But yeah, here in England, guys, it's a lot, seems to be a lot different, and the costs are way less over there by the looks of it. So yeah, that's what we're dealing with. But yeah, really interesting still, as I say, on the other end of the spectrum. But I love to watch all these type of videos. If there's any videos you guys want me to review, just put down in the comments any suggestions, guys, and I'll more than willingly sort of have a look at it and put my point of view over. But yeah, really interesting. But anyway, guys, it's the end of the day now almost. I'm going to go out into the workshop because I've been in this office most of the day doing paperwork today. Haven't been out there much. I'm going to pop out there now and do a few star jumps just to warm up. But until Wednesday, thank you very much for watching, guys. Have a great evening and we'll see you then. You take care.